Hey guys, today I'm here to show you what's pretty much one of the complex redstone creations I've ever made, with some of the most advanced circuitry ever. This is what it looks like in full view. I'm pretty proud of it, although it functions very slow and it's overall very tedious. It plays a game that I saw in a random Vsauce video and forgot the name of. Basically, there are two L shapes. One of them belongs to the player, one of them belongs to the AI. First, the player moves their L into a different position. It can be any position, so long as it doesn't overlap with any of the other squares. After that, they get to move one of the two neutral squares, these two here and here, which are referred to as the pennies. And their objective is to move the pieces in such a way that their opponent is unable to move their L into any other position, and in doing so, then they win. So in order to select something, it gets converted into glass. This would normally be an emerald block. And then you get to use these four controls here, along with the rotate and invert controls. So I can move this thing around however. The rotate control rotates at 90 degrees clockwise. And overall, it's best to get it in a position where it fills up more of the middle of this area. So I can move it like that, and then move it there, and then press place when I'm satisfied with where I want it to go. Now after that, it's my turn to move the neutral square. And if I don't want to move that one, I can flick this lever, and it will select the other one. There are a few delays with it, but that's just because of how big it is. It's not really the best in terms of delay. Let's say I wanted to move it right there. After this, I'm going to get teleported out temporarily. This is because the part that processes the AI Zell is actually out of the simulation distance, meaning I actually have to move out there in order for it all to load in. So now the AI has moved their L and moved their neutral square. So once again, it's my turn to move my shape. And we just keep on cycling through those four actions based off of just whose turn it is and all that until either one of us is unable to move their piece. And when that happens, then this piston will retract and a sign saying you won or you lost will appear. I'm just now going to do a quick rundown of all the controls. This whole thing involves 114 command blocks. 112 of them are to control what's shown on the screen here, and the other two are just to teleport the player temporarily to this glass box. This thing here is what's used to move the glass things in order for the player to move their squares and stuff. It's one of the more compact things, and it looks the coolest in my opinion. I just love flying through it and thinking, wow, gee, I made this. But anyway, all these pink, magenta, and purple ones are to send it back and forth between these two. This one here is basically where all the information is stored and memorized and portrayed on the screen. And this here is in charge of rotating and inverting the L when it's in its glass form. Back here, all this is really just to shoot everything off in a different direction. And this whole thing here is how the AI selects which is the best position to move a neutral square to. So it does this based off of how many adjacent blocks there are to it, because that's most likely to block off the most possible outcomes. And this part over here is probably like the most brain-like part, I should say. It's what determines what the best position to move the AI's L shape is, and also it's what conducts all that sort of stuff. And I accidentally built it a bit too far out of the simulation distance. But yeah, that's basically all the redstone stuff. I'm pretty proud of this thing, and I'm glad you guys could watch the video. And I'll just quickly show you the interior before I say goodbye of this part. I have lock circuits to help it memorize it all somewhere. Here's one. I don't know if anyone else calls them lock circuits. But, yeah. Also, there's this bit full of long tubes which sort of transports everything to where it needs to be. And on top of that, we have, this random answer generator. I couldn't be bothered, programming it to choose which penny would be the best to move or neutral square. So I just had a random guess generator. It's fueled off of the murdering of pillagers. But, yep.